Hey everybody, how's it going today? Today I'm going to be talking about the barrier of entry and how you can get into the trades. And the fact is that I hear a lot of people talking about getting into the trades as if it is a insurmountable obstacle because people have been brainwashed by schools that, you know, they don't want you in shop class. They don't want you to go to tech school. And so they throw all these hurdles in your way to stop you from going. The fact is that that's not true. The barrier for entry into almost any trade is extremely small. You know, now if your school doesn't offer shop class, which I've never seen a school that doesn't offer it, but let's say you go to a school that doesn't. If your school doesn't offer shop class, you can always do woodworking at home for very inexpensive. Woodworking is extremely cheap. If you think you might want to be a carpenter, you can go buy a box of screws, a screwdriver, and a tape measure, and you can probably find some wood around your house. And you can make a shelf. And then you're going to find out very quickly if woodworking is what you enjoy. And if it is what you enjoy, then you can start, you know, kind of investing a little bit more in tools and that kind of thing. But the idea that because you don't have access to all the fanciest tools possible, being some kind of barrier stopping you from becoming, you know, getting into the trades is frankly just bullshit. That's just a lie. Some of the greatest wooden structures ever built were built before electricity. Even some of the best metal structures, some incredible metal work has been done without electricity. It's just not that hard. So like wood is obviously much easier to work with not easier to work with, but is lower. It's different. It's easier to join two pieces of wood, I would say, than it is two pieces of metal, right? So like I've heard people say, you know, I would like to, you know, start doing fabrication, but I can't afford a brake. I can't afford to buy a welder. I can't afford to buy a plasma cutter. All of these tools that are now, you know, powered or done with hydraulics or done with electricity, there is a hand equivalent of every single one of those. There are hand brakes. There are hand tools for cutting thin metal. You may not be able to cut inch thick plate steel, but you can cut 18 gauge. I think you can cut up to 16 gauge with a pair of snips, right? So you may not be able to make everything you want, but there are workarounds for almost everything that you need to do. Like I said, many of the biggest, most impressive wooden structures ever built were built using hand tools with no electricity, where people didn't wash their butts, right? So that it's not like this stuff is hard to find or hard to do, or as if there's I shouldn't say it's not hard to do, but I mean it's not hard to get into it. We have YouTube, we have Facebook. If you go, let's say you wanted to be a plumber, right? You could go on Facebook, you could type in plumber group. It'll pop up with a group that'll just be full of plumbers. And everybody in there is going to be a plumber. And you can very easily type any question you want into the comments. And I can pretty much guarantee you that it will not only be answered once, but it'll probably be answered a dozen or more times. Because the fact is, when people know something, people want to share it. So like asking questions is the best way you're going to learn, obviously. But like I'm not a plumber, right? I work on cars. But when I have a plumbing problem in my house, I generally don't hire a plumber because I'm cheap. I go online and I go to YouTube and I type in my problem and I see what comes up. And I'll watch a couple of videos, 3-4 videos on it. And then I will go to a Facebook group and I will ask any questions that I might have developed from the video. Now, like, if you're thinking I want to be a plumber and then you just sit there, or you go into a plumber group and you say, hey, I want to be a plumber. Can I have a job, right? Or what do I need to be a plumber? Like, nobody wants to answer that because you haven't put forward any effort, right? But if you put forward the effort, if you go in and you say, you know, I'm trying to hook up this garbage disposal, right? And I figured out kind of this part and this part, but I'm having a hard time with this. Is there any advice anybody can give me? And I will guarantee you that there's going to be a lot of people who are going to come forward to tell you their opinion or how they would do it or to give you advice. The barrier for entry into the trades is so unbelievably small that there's literally no excuse to not do it if you want to. Even if you don't know where to start, you can go on Google and type in how to start woodworking, how to start being a mechanic, how to start, you know, irrigation, how to start landscape design. Type in any of these things and you're going to get a wealth of information. You may have to do some work sorting, right? What's good and bad. But so does everybody, right? Even people who have been doing this for years have to sort through that kind of information on a daily basis. So it's not like, it's not like that's not something you're going to have to do even if you go to school, right? So I guess what I'm trying to say is that while nothing is ever going to be handed to you, right? Nobody's going to come out of nowhere and say, hey, you're going to be an electrician. Here's all the tools you're going to need. Come with me. There's always workarounds. There's always ways to learn, and there's always ways to figure stuff out. If for no other reason, trying a bunch of stuff just to see if you like it. And if you think, you know what, this could be a potential career for me. And that just doesn't go for the trades, of course. That goes for, you know, I always suggest people try coding. Try putting together a computer. Try building something. You know, read a geometry book. You're going to know very quickly if you find geometry interesting, right? But just trying things. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that in today's world, there's just no reason to not. There's no reason that you should have that should stop you from doing really any job in the trade, or at least starting you down the path to doing that. You don't even need tech school, right? So, like for maybe an electrician or a plumber, you're going to need eventually to get some kind of certifications and stuff. But to start out, you don't need any of that, right? I know that in my high school, the electrical class, they took a piece of wood and they made a for lack of a better term, a circuit board. And it was a light bulb that was a completed circuit on this wooden board, and you could flip the switch and the light bulb would come off, and it was attached to a battery and wires and a light bulb and a switch. Very easy to do. But once you learn that, it's very easy to build upon those fundamentals, and that whole project would probably cost you less than $50 to do. And you would learn so much, and then you would have a place to build from. So I'm going to be signing off here, but just if you want to try something, don't wait for someone's permission. Just start doing it. It's not going to end badly. You're probably going to fail. You're probably going to fail a lot. You fail a lot in life, but you will take lessons from that. You'll learn, and then you'll be able to apply those lessons the next time you use it. And then once you start building that base of knowledge, you can continue to build upon it. So use Google, use YouTube. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me a message. I would love to talk auto body with any aspiring bodymen. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon.